All right. Excuse me. So, wanted to kind of work on something I've been learning, which is trying to fly by VFR rules. So, I am going to set up a flight plan and try to execute it. And we're going to start tonight from here in scenic Madison, Indiana, which is basically my local airport. So we're going to set that as the should be able to set that as the flight plan departure. Yep. So that's what we are going to do. And then we are going to try to make a path to over here at Kilo Bravo Mike Golf, Monroe County, Bloomington basically. And I'm going to go ahead and set that as my destination, and that's going to draw in an initial flight path. But that's not the flight path I intend to use. I'm going to try to find me some waypoints and points of reference to use to get myself there, which I've never done at a full flight level before. So we'll see if it's even possible. And the first waypoint I am going to select is the one that my selection of runway 21, which is going to take me this way, is going to take me right to this lake right here. And so there's a couple different ways that you can set additional waypoints. You should be able to kind of drag, but I don't have much luck with that. I find it much easier to simply right click and add the position to the flight plan, which adds in a waypoint pretty much right where I need it to be, in between my two departure and arrival locations. So if we're going to start and make this turn almost immediately over this lake right here, the next thing I'm going to need to look for is some point of reference, and I see right here, very handy looking lake, Hardy Lake. And so I could drag the path onto whatever piece of this I want. Let's say we were going to choose the very back of it. And that's going to create a new waypoint and give me another leg with a new heading to work with. That's going to get me another chunk of the way there. And I think if I drag over here, you can see that it starts to also calculate the amount of time that that's going to take. And that's going to be handy when we actually, the leg time right here is what we want. When I pull that into Flight Simulator, and that will populate the nav log and make it actually quite easy to, well, I say quite easy, but relatively easy to follow a flight plan that was built in Little Nav Map, which is super handy. So from here we have a decision to make, I guess, what we want the next thing we're navigating towards. We can see the Muscatatuck River here. But I think what I'm going to be looking for is probably I-65, and particularly maybe this interchange right here would be relatively handy. So I'm going to drag myself up here. There is the ability to add like remarks about what the waypoints are, which actually is not the worst idea ever. Let's see. So our first waypoint is actually Hereford Lake, and that one I just happen to know. The second one was Hardy Lake, and the third one is the exit 41 on I-65. Let's see now what we might want to use to navigate from here. Got State Road 250 going this way. Might be able to kind of follow that east until it comes to its end. Not exactly on the path, but it's familiar to me, and so it sort of makes sense to me. So I'm thinking I'm gonna, might be easier for me. Sometimes when it's just not working for me, I can add the position and it will take care of that for me. So waypoint 4 is the end of State Road 250. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't used this feature before or tried to, so I'm not sure to what extent it's useful for pulling into Flight Sim, but I can always refer to it here on Little Nav Map. But I'm going to try not to use too much Little Nav Map because that sort of feels like I'd be cheating the actual concept of VFR flying. And when I did a small practice of this, having all of the tool tips and things turned off was a pretty daunting experience for me as someone who's completely new to flying, flight sim, everything. But it was sort of fun, and I figured I could test myself a little more on some semi-familiar pathways and destinations, although I have no idea what this airport looks like, to be honest with you, having had no reason ever to fly into Bloomington. So anyway, back to the task at hand. And I have no real sense of how many waypoints I should be setting for myself or what really makes sense, but I'm seeing this lake over here is kind of my next obvious thing to be shooting for, were that it had some sort of name. I also could look for where this river meets the road here, sort of like that option. That's we'll see if I have the wherewithal to actually notice these points, but that's alright. It's an experiment and a learning experience. East Fork River. That's, I guess we'll call that US 50 overpass of East Fork River. We'll see if I remember what that even means by the time that we actually get to that point. That's a pretty short leg. I'd have to be really paying attention for it. 3.7 miles. Let's see here. Things get kind of empty for a while. Got a little body of water in here that could be a reference point. Ultimately, I gotta find my way down over here if I'm gonna try to make some sort of approach. Although really, what I'm learning is that I'm better off following what probably is a typical flight pattern to go past it and back around and try to come in on runway 17. Seems like the move, probably. Crash my plane into runway 17, as it were. That's alright. Alright, so maybe a slightly longer leg here. It's getting a little less familiar to me out here, and there's sort of not as much obvious to me to use as waypoints. I don't know what that is, really. Guess I could try to make my way up to whatever this is. I'm not sure if that's some sort of dam or something. Ultimately, I'm going to want to end up kind of over here. But I was almost certain I'd be using this lake, and I guess I really couldn't. So I guess there's actually some sort of... what is this? Oh, it's like a water strip. That's cool. What can I use as sort of a distinct marker here? That's going to be like the campground. Maybe that would be useful. Of course, then when it doesn't to be a wayground, that will have, or a campground, that will have been a complete mistake. Should stick to things that are actually labeled on here, probably. Guess I could go towards this airport, but that's not really even the direction I want to be headed. This right here. This like marina situation. That looks distinct enough to use as a path. Had a name on the map, didn't it? Was it called Fairfax Marina? We'll know what that means. That's waypoint 6, right? getting close to having enough of a plan to go with here. You see we're starting to sort of have a plan that we'll be able to follow. And what I ultimately want to do is kind of end up with an approach that's going to take me around. So I guess ultimately it doesn't matter if I just navigate to the destination at that point and sort of define my own approach. I will have felt fairly decent about what I was doing. So maybe we will just go with it as is. So you can see now we have a flight plan with basically 6 waypoints in between for us to try to navigate towards, and we will see how that goes. So we'll go ahead now and export this flight plan. I do want to select the start position. I think I said runway 21, right? Which I think is actually the opposite of the way planes typically run out of Madison, but so be it. We're not going to be too worried about authenticity at that level. Alright, let's drop out a little nav map for a second here. And let's go to the world map. Ourselves a nice time of day to work with. Try to load in our flight plan that we just created in a little nav map. As you can see, there it is with all of our waypoints nicely defined for us. Very nice. And if we're satisfied, let's see. Yeah. We'll just go with a nice little daytime, maybe a morning thing. A little too early, maybe. I'll be able to see what I'm doing. So those are visual flight rules, after all. Alright, let's get after it. We're in the Cessna 208, which I mostly fly because I can actually mostly control it. I'm not sure what that's a picture of. Alright, so here we go. Typically, I fly with all of the tool tips and all of the help on, because I have no idea what I'm doing, but the goal here is to force myself to press my comfort zone just a titch, even though I will probably do at least half of this in chase cam mode. And if anybody wants to hop in with me, I'm on the Southeast server. Southeast Asia, that is. Alright, let's see. Let's get out of here. Oh, you know what I need? Of course. It'd be very helpful to have the actual nav log available. These are some pretty short legs. That is going to make it difficult for me to actually make moves the way I think I probably need to, or the way I might ultimately want to. These are some pretty short legs. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Alright, so let me focus for a moment on actually getting out of here. I think even that first leg is timed. I guess we'll see. Gotta keep control of the plane and do that at the same time is asking a lot. Don't see any obvious way to note the notes on. I'm gonna get out like this for a second here while I figure out what's going on. Alright, so I know that our first point, can I see these expand? No, they don't. Would have been nice if they like showed my remarks, but they don't. All right, then I better really pay attention to what I'm doing. So here's your climb, and so there's the lake that represents the first waypoint here. And so now I know that I need to take a turn toward heading 291. Which I'm just going to go ahead and do now. What I really should do then is also reset my time. Computer's taking a second to catch up with itself here. It will figure it out, but that does make it hard to do timing. Come on now. Catch up with yourself. Wait, make that turn enough. I do need to reset this clock. Alright. So as we get on our heading of 291-ish, which is about the best I can do, we'll keep an eye on that clock. And remember that what we are looking for is... Bear with me. Look at our flight plan remarks, and we are headed towards Hardy Lake at this point. Oops, off my heading on the game now. Multitasking is hard. Gonna have to fix that heading now, though, which is almost certainly going to put us behind our time. Oh, which isn't even running anymore. Alright. We'll estimate that we lost about a minute on that whole scenario and be looking for our next waypoint at about 2 minutes and change. And we're looking for the back end of Hardy Lake, which I can already kind of see. Back a little bit to my right. If I was doing longer chunks here, I might try to throw on autopilot, but we're just messing around here and trying to figure out what this VFR business is all about. So we'll just kind of wing it, as it were. We'll see how close my estimate comes to the reality in terms of how far off I was time-wise. We set as our point the very back of that lake. At which point we will want to make a shift to 308 as the heading. On our flight here from Madison, Indiana to Bloomington, which will take us first over Hardy Lake and then over Monroe Lake. So far, so good. See, it had 324, and, well, I may still end up being not too far away from that, ultimately, which is just an indication of me flying slower than the actual cruise speed of this thing, but that's alright. I will learn. It's like I already know what's wrong, you know? Just not quite functional enough to have avoided the problem in the first place. Which is really trying to multitask. Gets hard when you're an old man. Alright, so in the end we are not going to be too far off from the estimated time out of the little nav map. But not because it was right, but because I was so wrong. So next we're going to be making a turn to 308 for about 6 miles, where we will then be looking for the end of State Road 259 I have written down. Is that right? Yeah, I guess that's right. Which I really should be able to follow and recognize. We'll see. So here we come towards the back of the lake. Very nice. Have done some camping there. And my one-word memory, chiggers. Man, they just they stayed with me for quite some time, I must say. Alright, so we're going to begin to bank a little bit toward our next waypoint. And let's go ahead and reset our clock at this point. Alright, I already overshot it a little bit. No big deal. We can correct. So we're looking at about minute 47. This could be a tricky one. Recognizing the end of the road. Oh no, I take that back. I'm jumping the gun. What I'm looking for here actually is is exit 41 on I-65. So it'll be a highway interchange that I'm pointing towards. That should be pretty doable. Almost got this heading right. Shouldn't be too far away from it according to our timer. First flight using visual flight rules as best I can. I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing, but as best I understood them from like the tutorial in the game. Tried to set up my own flight here, and then we're just sort of testing it out, see if I can do it. Crash landing into Bloomington here, and probably not too long from now. These are all fairly short legs. So I'm already at 147, but I do not see, I guess this is it right here. Do you see an exchange anywhere? Is that an exit? I don't really see the exit though. Maybe that's not the highway yet. Maybe I'm jumping the gun on that. Whew. Tricky. That's gotta be the highway, isn't it? Oh, is that the exit up there? Am I off? Oh, maybe that was it. No, that doesn't really look like an interchange. Oh, maybe that's it up there. That would actually make more sense. I tend to be trailing the actual timer by a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to choose to believe that that is what I was looking for. Well, I am just behind. Okay, so what's going to happen here is that I then need to turn back towards the west. Heading at 279 here. Yeah, here's your highway. We're going to follow the road here, basically. Okay, so we're going to reset the clock, and we're going to start it. And we're going to note that we're starting it a little early. That's alright. Okay, so now we've got about 9 miles and change in about 3 minutes of flying to take us. Yeah, this will be the end of 250. So we're basically, we could just follow the road, essentially. Flying it kind of low right now. I just wasn't sure about that roadway there, and if that was what I was actually looking for or not. It made sense once I actually saw it, though. So we are heading towards waypoint 4 here. Getting a little stutter on my flight sim. You know, this is I feel like this is not the road I'm actually intending to follow. The road I would want to follow is actually up here. Yeah, over there to our right is the one we would actually want to follow, but we're going to keep on our heading at this point. And hope my computer catches up with itself, as it is definitely stuttering a little bit at this point.
124.775 Cessna Tango Romeo Lima.
I'll admit it's some pretty flat terrain here, but that does make it sort of perfect for being a VFR training ground, if my computer would catch up with itself. Come on now. It always does if I leave it alone, but it is definitely struggling right this second. Come on now. There we go. Yeah. Speaking too soon, perhaps. What you working so hard at? I lost my line. That nonsense. Let's try to get our heading back and see if that gets us back to where we need to be. Only looking at 2 minutes and 56 seconds, and basically looking for the end of this road right here that's off to our north. Which we really should be able to just sort of follow as our way of seeing where we're going. And then we're going to take kind of a long leg that's going to direct us over Lake Monroe, which should pretty much leave us in an approach, or a position to kind of find an approach to Bloomington, where we'll come in from the north side, I think. I'm going to try to do a sort of conventional approach. I'm really bad at landing, so most likely I will just be crashing this plane, but we will give a shot at what I've been learning from just trying. I do hope it's somewhat obvious when this road ends, since it's clear that it is taking me longer to get there than was intended. But I'm going kind of slow, clearly below the cruising speed of this plane, which is more like 145. But I'm trying to keep it sort of low and slow so that I can actually sort of see the points and do the thing as intended. Kind of working so far. I'm feeling pretty good about it overall. I'm not used to flying without all of the like airport pointers and all that stuff, and it was sort of fun to plan it, so I guess ultimately this is sort of impractical now that GPS is so ubiquitous, but it's fun to learn different ways to navigate. Definitely part of the arcane knowledge that seems to lurk all over flying world. Alright, so it sort of seems like we're coming up on the end of the road as I would expect it, substantially later, time-wise. But that's alright. It's mostly about the visual, right? The time is just sort of a guide. Alright, so again, we're going to have to make a turn towards the north here. Yep, here it is. Here's the end of 250. So we're going to reset this. Right, and we're going to start again. We're going to
turn toward 301 now. And waypoint 5. Here we go. Whoops. Overshot that a little. But that's alright, so you can fix that. It's not tragic to make mistakes. I mean, it could be if you were a real pilot and stuff, but we're just here to learn and have fun. I'm thinking this is pretty slick. Overcorrected again without even paying attention. Not great. That's alright though. Alright, what am I even heading towards now? This is a tricky one, I think. What I'm looking for, and boy, am I going to find this or not. It's okay because it's really mostly on my line anyway, I think. It's like I'm barely changing lines to get to the next waypoint, right? From 301 to 299, so not even really going to matter that much, but I do need to fix the line if I have any hope of finding the next waypoint, which is the US 50 overpass of the East Fork River. So I'm going to be looking for where a road and river are going to come together here. I'm afraid it's going to be a little more this way than I'm allowing myself to find. That makes me a little worried that I'm not going to see it. And like, what do you do if you miss one of your waypoints? Oh, is this it right here though? Tough one, not a great waypoint, but is that water right there? This would be about where I would expect it to be. Yeah, that looks good right there. Okay, so now we need to kind of kick it back to 299. We need to restart our clock. Alright. This is a long leg. 6 minutes and 27 seconds, and I probably need to gain a little speed if I'm actually going to make it in that kind of timeline. And where we're headed here is to Lake Monroe. So this is the longest stretch that we have set up that isn't basically the approach leg for our landing in Monroe County at Kilo Bravo Mike Golf. Pretty quiet airspace here on the Southeast Asia server. Not really too surprising that it would be quiet here. Fix my heading. I could try to set my autopilot at this point. Sort of revisit those skills, which I really just learned about today also. So I'm really trying to, elevate in a number of different ways. So let's see. Turn the autopilot on. And let's dial in this heading. Oh, I'm terrible at this part. What did I say? Is it 290? No, it's not. It's 299. I love the song. Okay. So I'm gonna do that. Did I do that right? I don't know. I think so. Nice. Okay. So I got that going for me. Alright, I can dial in an altitude now too, I guess. So far, so okay. And then altitude mode. Yeah, like just hold it here. I don't really care what the altitude is. Just hold it here for a minute. Nice. Okay. Seems like I did it. I'm gonna take up the throttle a little bit because I'm probably not fairly representing the time at this point. We'll see what effect not really being on the right line in the first place has on subsequently following the heading. So over time, that should be minimized. Showing 56% of our destination of our total itinerary completed. Could be so. This is kind of the long leg, I would say. Give this a little throttle. this a little more volume for a second. This is Holly Bowling live on 9/24/16. Playing the song Taste. Shout out to Holly Bowling. So about 3.5 minutes, and I mean I can tell just by the way we're going that we're not halfway there, so I'm probably going to have to add a minute or two in my estimation, but should be pretty obvious since we're going to be flying across the next large body of water that we come across, which will be Lake Monroe. And then we will make a turn to heading 325, which should bring us in the vicinity of the Monroe County Airport. We will make an attempted landing and call that a somewhat successful first attempt at a VFR flight. I'm enjoying the entire concept. Kind of arcane, useless navigation knowledge. That's my cup of tea. Oh, hey now. Good day to you, sir. Haven't gotten into comms yet. Letting comms get handled. I'll get there. It's another arcane system that's hard to deny. Not quite seeing any water yet. It's looking more like, what do we got here? Like a golf course coming up? Something like that. I mean, already at 5 minutes and 27 seconds. Like, I don't know how it thought we were going 20 miles in 6 minutes. Not at my airspeed. There's the lake. You can start to see it now. Coming on in. So the line that we're on should basically take us by, it was like a marina. So that's kind of what we're looking for. And when we see that marina, we're going to be making our turn home. You can see what's going on. A little nav map at this point. Bring that in. See that we are, in fact, just kind of making our way here. Didn't exactly follow the path perfectly, but not too bad in the grand scheme of things. These are some previous flight lines, so you can ignore those. But like, once we got on the course, we were kind of doing our thing. And now we're letting the autopilot kind of keep me steady at this point, which I will take over after we cross the next waypoint. I'll probably have it do the heading, and then we'll adjust the heading in autopilot and let it sort of settle, and then we'll take over and attempt a landing. So here we are already at 7 minutes, and our destination is going to be that thing right there, which I got to figure we're a solid minute away from, maybe more. That's fine. Again, the time is just a guide. And it's doing its thing. It lets you know kind of when to start looking, right? And better that that you hit your estimated time and haven't gotten there yet than hit it and have it already shot it. But we can clearly see where we're headed here. all I have to do is limit the embarrassment of the approach, and this will have been a good time and a success. We're still going to have like a 10-minute ride to get close enough to make our approach. We're going to come in on runway 17, which I'm sure I will forget by the time we actually need to contact ATC. I should have added one more waypoint that would have served as kind of when to make my turn to sort of enter the approach pattern. It's telling me to think about starting the descent at 1.9 nautical miles, but I don't feel like that respects the approach pattern that you're supposed to take, and I'm not sure that I'm actually going to take the right pattern. I'm probably coming from the wrong side, but can't win them all. Let's see. Okay, so we are passing over the point right now. Down below, that's where we were supposed to go. So now we're going to want to reset the clock, start again, and make a turn towards heading 325, which we want to do by overriding our autopilot, not by... There we go. Okay. Good stuff. I'm learning. Very nice. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay. So we should now be basically en route to the airstrip. But I don't want to actually go straight to the airstrip because this is not the right heading and not really where we want to go. So we can take a look at the airport a little more closely now. Kind of see what happens with it. See, this is our airport, and see if we follow this line in. That's not really going to help us get anywhere. What I think we're going to try to do is kind of come in and do this. So approach from the east, pass, and come in on 17 here over the old. What is this here? I'll press my luck on a little nav map. So my computer definitely did not like all those moves at once. Go back to the game for a second, let little nav map catch up to itself. Alright, so far so good. Minute and 30 on the final leg here. So really what I have to decide is at what point in this I'm going to deviate, take over the autopilot, and try to get into an approach pattern. That I'm not going to use my usual red brackets thing from the game. I'm just going to try to make up my own pattern and hope it is somewhat reasonable, using what I've learned from doing all these landing challenges and whatnot, or I should say failing at these landing challenges. 2 minutes into this pattern. I don't know. Seems like I'm going to get there. Like I'm wondering already, am I looking at an airport-ish thing happening here? And am I closer than I think? I think the answer is yes. That certainly looks like an airstrip right there, doesn't it? So, with that in mind, my inclination is to actually start making a bit of a turn now. I'm going to want to start sort of pulling my speed back, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of autopilot at this point. Which I don't think I need to do anything else, do I? At that point? I'm not sure. But yeah, see. I was going to get there way ahead of schedule now. Something wasn't right about the sort of estimated time between those two waypoints. I'm not sure what to make of that. That was odd. So, elevation at Monroe County, according to little nav map, is 839 feet. So, at this point, I don't really have any compelling reason to keep the nav log open. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. Give myself a little more visibility here. I never even took my flaps up. I need like I need like a personal checklist. It's like flew that entire thing with flaps. It's alright though. That would explain why I was a little bit behind the clock sometimes, I guess. Yeah, things I'm just terrible at. Remembering what to do. Alright, I really need to be taking my speed down here. If I'm going to make an even remotely intelligent approach. Let's see here. Okay, I'm still in line with the runway. I need to get a clip past it. I'm not too bad, 125 right now. Maybe a little hot. I'm sure it would be telling me that I was way too hot right now, but that's alright. Alright, I'm at 1700, trying to get ultimately down to about 840. So, let's see, alright. Maybe just a little further before we kick our base leg here. Alright. I never did contact the tower, did I? That's no good. Oh, aren't you expecting me?
Wilmington Tower, Cessna, November, Echo Uniform, Tango, Romeo, Lima, 3 miles
I'm gonna
north,
take it a little
1,500
past.
feet to land.
I'm a little slow now. No, see, I don't want to enter runway. I want to request a different. I totally didn't expect you to tell me to go runway 35.
Fly left downwind, runway
Can I?
35, Cessna, Tango, Romeo, Lima.
Huh. So I don't have the ability to request a different runway even. Bah. I worked so hard on this approach. Oh, ATC, you're killing me. Can I cancel my
Wilmington
landing
Tower, Cessna,
intentions?
Tango, Romeo, Lima, cancel
What
landing
does that do?
intention.
Yeah, I want you to let me instead do it here. Let me pick a runway.
Wilmington Tower, Cessna, November, Echo Uniform, Tango, Romeo, Lima, 2 miles north, 1,600 feet to land.
You let me land here. It's not gonna let me do it. I don't care. I'm landing on 17 tonight, folks.
Fly left traffic, runway
Alright,
35,
here we go.
Cessna,
Here we
Tango,
go.
Romeo,
Let's see what we can do with this. Oh, settle down. Back to the left. Settle it. Settle it. Flare. Flare. Oh, a little bounce there. Alright, but it's like on the runway. Right? Yeah. Yeah, sorry, tower. I tried. You didn't give me the option to switch runways, and you know, I had to go rogue. With all due apologies. Alright. Well, other than the fact that it didn't give me the runway I expected when I really was trying to do the right thing. Yeah, I'm off the runway. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
Going to 121.9.
Nobody trying to land in Bloomington right now. Right on in here. Making up our own parking spot, and it is right here, of course. Beautiful. Let's hop back inside to do the few other things I know how to do in here. Which are, oops, Catch up with me. Come on now. Come on. You have so much little work. So little work left to do, I should say. Really? Don't glitch out now. Alright. Battery off. That was pretty much how it ends. Nice. Alright. Well, that seems like overall a success. Yeah. Fun. Not a bad demonstration of how VFR works, I must say. Was not unhappy with that. Oh, I don't really have any plan beyond that, to be honest with you. That was pretty fun. Maybe now I'm just gonna fly around something random. Maybe I'll do a landing challenge. I don't know. I was gonna try to see if I could get Sirius Schwartz on to fly a helicopter with me and somewhere, but I think what I will do is do it myself. And pick somewhere kind of high profile, like Paris, maybe. Do we go to Charles de Gaulle? Yeah. No idea what time I should be doing anything there. Let's go. Again, something morning-y. I'm just gonna take off and not really worry about it. This is more casual. I did my work for the night with that VFR flight, which pretty successful. Pretty happy with. Now I'm just gonna check out Paris for a few minutes and then probably call it a night. That was pretty exciting. A successful VFR flight between Madison and Bloomington. Now we're just hopping in the helicopter and seeing what happens. I spent about 30 seconds trying to fly this the other day. So now we'll see what it's like to take it around somewhere that's got some photogrammetry involved, as I believe Paris does, right?
Runway 26 right, ready for departure, departing straight out.
Alright. I don't really know what to do with this. Oh man. Where do you even go around here? Part of my problem is I know nothing about Paris whatsoever, so I don't even know like which direction I would head from here. Looks like maybe it would be interesting to start just heading in this direction over here. Let's be honest, I have no idea. Alright. So now I'm heading west. Is that a mistake? Or is that like the way to go? I honestly don't know anything about Paris, which is exactly why I was like, maybe I should check it out for a few minutes. Looks like maybe the city proper is to the south of us? Is that possible? Yeah, it looks like maybe I want to go that way. If I can figure out how. Alright. A little more rudder based. How to like make anything meaningful happen here. I'm sure there's something physicsy I'm not understanding about how this is supposed to work. Alright, we're starting to move. Slowly. Alright, here we go. We're taking this helicopter thing toward Paris, or so I am telling myself. we have at least taken it from the airport and are heading in what seems to be the direction of civilization. And there are more people in this direction than anywhere else here on the Southeast Asia server, which I'm on because the East USA server was really not working well tonight for some reason. And I was on with some other streamer and he actually switched. Because it was so bad and he couldn't see anybody else around him and whatnot. Alright, so I would say we're making some slow but steady progress here. Not sure what this thing is really capable of speed-wise. But we finally seem to be drifting in towards stuff. I should have done some sort of marked the point of interest kind of thing, but we'll see. Is that like the, Arc de Triomphe, Champs-Élysées up here, whatnot? Where's the tower? I don't even know. No idea. Sort of embarrassingly ignorant about Paris and France in general. Like, I absolutely would not know this was Paris, like, from where we're looking. Would not have had the slightest clue. Alright, so we're drifting in here. But what are we drifting towards? Like, what's... I'm sort of moving towards those buildings over there, but I don't really know why, or whether they represent any sort of point of interest. See, this is where not having points of interest is annoying. Alright, I'm actually going to change that. Since I'm no longer doing VFR flying, I think I'm okay with having... Oh, I want accessibility options, right? Or assistance options. Yeah, let's see. Let's turn some stuff back on. Let's turn that, and let's turn this stuff back on. I don't know if I need the airport markers per se. I'll leave that off for now. Hey now, whoa, Tilly, my word. It's a violent re-entry. I don't know what to say about that. Okay. Well, I'll be honest, I don't really know what to do in Paris. I thought it would be more obvious to me. A little glitchy too. For me right now. I guess it's a lot of photogrammetry for my computer to deal with all at once. It probably does not really like it very much. Just too much. What is that? My word. Strange. Come on now. Get it under control. So it seems like my computer is choking on the amount it's being asked to do here with all of the buildings that are actually detailed here. I'm not sure though. It'll catch up with itself. I need to sort of figure out in a more meaningful way where to go. Alright. It's like I want to keep going kind of generally to the right. Heading kind of more west than anything else at this point. Kind of over this big old forested area, which is interesting. I don't know too much about what we're looking at. It's a big old park though. Nice. I think we need to continue kind of banking this thing west, and that where I really want to be is kind of, yeah, heading this way, I think. If where I want to get to is like the center of town, get me some Eiffel Tower and whatnot, I think I gotta go this way. Should have set up a VFR plan for this. Would have been very suave. So I'm kind of winging it now. Yeah, I think it's got to be more like this way toward the tower. Still not entirely sure that I'm really heading in the right direction right now in my quest to kind of haphazardly find the Eiffel Tower.
Tango Romeo Lena, leading my airspace frequency change en route.
What I probably need to do is make my way down to the water and follow the water. The Seine, right? That's probably really the move. Get to the Seine and follow it. So is that the Seine? Am I over the Seine right now? Could I be? Doesn't look like it, does it? Like, could that be the Seine right there, is what I'm saying?
I think so, right? No, the sun is that. It gotta be that thing. No. Maybe I'm wrong.
Excuse me.
It's honestly hard to tell. I'm struggling with some navigation right here. Sort of struggling to figure out the navigation on this one. Oh, there we go. I guess I could just look for it and see it and then fly towards it. Would probably be also a logical move. There it is. So, alright. We're going to make our press toward the Eiffel Tower, see if we can find some place to land, and that's probably going to do it for me. Back it out, try to figure out if I'm even like moving right now. Sort of hard to tell. So I can pick up some speed here. No real sense of how far we are at this point. At this pace. This thing ain't getting you anywhere too quickly. Let's see. I just lose track of it completely. I think I'm heading in the right direction still, but I'm not even sure anymore. My word. Look at all the 3D buildings. That's cool.
Emirates 71, follow the aircraft on final. Land 269er at 7. Caution the generic landing runway 26 left. Clear to land runway 26 right. Clear to land runway 26 right, Emirates 71.
What is that back there? Like, what is that? What's going on back there? What is all of that? This is just like partially resident buildings, is that what it is? Let's see here. I'm still a little confused by my navigation. Struggling to match a couple of maps up here. Figure out like
Emirates 71, turn next taxiway.
where we are exactly right now. Myself a waypoint to navigate to on a little nav map here, I think. 'Cause I think I've got roughly where it is. So if I just somewhere over here. Exactly over there, but it's like, I believe it to be somewhere in that rough vicinity. Hold on, I found it. Let's see. Position flight plan. Delete selected legs. Sorry, I am messing around with the little nav map. I should at least be showing that when I do it. Alright, so I've set that. Let's just set our current position as the switch these. Control arrow up, yeah. Alright, so now we know we can head on a line of 250 and get to where we're going. So that we'll do that. Turn ourselves toward a heading of 250 and hopefully be beelining ourselves towards the Eiffel Tower. glad I checked. Let's see here. Pick up some speed. So about 7 miles, which who knows how long that's actually going to take with this beast. I'd love to see like does this thing have any sort of autopilot-y features? But yeah, apparently it does. Oh, maybe not. Inoperative. Strobes, nav lights. Extra caution. Alright. Not obviously. Alright, that's cool. No thing. Quite on the right heading here. Pull it back. Toward 250. Try to see if there's anywhere to land near the Eiffel Tower with this thing. Let's see. Nothing real obvious. Could push ourselves onward to this one here. Lima Foxtrot, Papa November. Might not be a bad option. Take a little while to get there though. Looks like the music I had on is done. Yep, sure enough. Alright. Let's make a change there. Let's try this out. Keeping it pretty random on that. Alright. Still pretty well on the line I need to be on. I need to be more like heading at 250 if we're really gonna find ourselves at the Eiffel Tower anytime tonight. Still not really making the correction, but that's alright. Not tragic, generally heading in the right direction. Looks like we're gonna get a little Notre Dame flyby, kind of inadvertently here. This is coming in a little hot, this music. Compared to the last source. Cut that down a notch. Definitely not as intuitive for me how to like gain speed with this thing. I feel like I'm again just making up my own lines here. Not really going the way I'm supposed to be going, but it's alright. Be amazing if my computer does not crash the desktop trying to keep up with Paris. I mean, like I was saying. Oh man, it goes crazy when it starts and I don't keep it under control. Hoo-wee! This thing's got some weird physics for sure. But helicopters are going to be fun in general. Alright, I feel like we're about half of the distance since I made this heading change. When I actually found it on the map. Hey, thanks for the follow, Floey. Really appreciate it. Had my first semi-successful VFR flight earlier, and then just decided for fun to hop in this helicopter and fly around Paris a little bit. And it turns out to be kind of tricky. Look at all this photogrammetry that I've been ignoring while I've been trying to navigate myself to the Eiffel Tower so fastidiously. Get all one-track mind, and you just lose track of what the whole purpose of this thing is. Wow, this is crazy. Absolutely nutty. The level of detail. That's great. Still should theoretically, I think, be. I guess that's the Eiffel Tower in front of us, isn't it? It's just kind of a stick and looks a lot like the other markers. But here we are. Wow, man, you can take one of those planes right in there, man. Yikes. My youngest would have just like taken a plane right through that little canyon. Wild. Well, this really gives you a sense of how claustrophobic I imagine it to be. I love the shadow. That's cool down the right. Right? That's neat. Alright, this was a good call. Glad I took my elevation down a little bit too. So I guess what I'm gonna do is, as we sort of go around the tower, I will see if I can get air traffic control to let me land over in that next airport past us. Tissus Lenoble. And there's other airstrip possibilities, but that seems like kind of the biggest one that's available to me. I don't want to lose track of what I'm doing here. Look at that. Solid. That's pretty wild. Very cool. Oh, the Louvre. Yeah, alright, we're gonna have to do a little. Just a little dip on the Louvre. So we're gonna see like the Ayampe glass pyramid. That would be fire. Let's see if we can find it. Then we'll take to the river to get our way to the tower here. Look at this. That is unreal. That's so cool. Again, never been to Paris, other than taking a train through it where I never got off the train. So, like, where's the pyramids? Is it there still? Like, it is, right? Is that, would it be over here? Is this it? Yeah, what's up? It's dope. Feeling that. That's good. That's cool. A couple people in shot with me here. It's like, didn't fly as close to the pyramid as I thought I was flying. That's alright, I'm gonna get more of a big picture screen. Oh, I almost missed it completely. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Pay attention to what I'm doing. My word. Look at that. That's cool. Alright. So what we are going to do now is, I believe, turn this way. Yeah, it's all about rudder with this thing. I'm starting to figure out. Rudder is the magic sauce with the helicopter, at least this one. I don't know, we'll see if I have the patience to take this thing all the way to the airport or not. We're gonna get to that tower though. I think we're gonna mostly follow the river doing it. Okay, I'm gonna take her in close. I'm pretty close to the ground as it is. Anyway, one thing about the copter is you stop pushing on that stick and it does not move forward much. Sort of have to run to the bathroom. I'm gonna take a shot at it. I'll be right back. I'm on my way back. Doesn't look like the helicopter moved very much at all. It's like basically just floating there, so I didn't miss much. Kind of nice to know I can do that safely. Alright. Here we go. On our final approach to the Eiffel Tower, sort of celebrating my first successful VFR flight tonight. This is, I guess, the Champs-Élysées, I guess. I don't really know, let's be honest. Oh, there's a Volo port. Is that like totally designed for me? What is the Volo port? If it's for me, I'm going there. We're going to check it out anyway. Because now I need to know what it is. But, alright, here we come in on the tower. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What just happened? I don't know what just happened. Oh no, that was a total calamity. It's like everything locked up and suddenly I was dropping. And, alright. You're just gonna let me take off again though? Like nothing happened? How about it? No? Well, now what do you expect me to do? You gotta be kidding. Can I slew a helicopter? Well, the answer is apparently yes. I don't know where to slew it to. I was hoping to slew it to the river. Take care of it that way. There we go. I turn around. Guess you go the other way. I don't know what happened there. Interesting. Wow, that was unexpected. Alright. I'll just have to go a little more direct with that then. I'm not going to let go of the idea of flying around the Eiffel Tower just because I can't seem to get myself out of that situation. That was a disaster. I made it so far. But no matter. We will shorten that up. I'll just let it drop me right in. Can't believe that. I don't know what happened there. Precipitous fall to my doom, though. No good. ready to drop me in, just like I want it. Okay, let's back out a little bit here. Alright. Okay, there it is. I'm like, where is it even? But it's actually not a bad spot. Let's open drops in a little lower, honestly. I'd worked so hard to keep a nice low altitude, which probably didn't help me with whatever was going on there, but so I can't see nothing. Obviously we're going to have to make a circle on that, because that was ridiculous. Not what I was going for there. All sorts of stuff up there. Points of interest. Do a loop around and see where it spits me out with regard to the tower. Try to add a little more rudder to this so I can turn tighter. There we go. Way better. Much more useful. Oh, hold on. I end up overshooting it. Okay, better. Right. I'll do something real quick. Just stuff off for a second. Oh, whoops. So I can get a little better shot as we come in here. Didn't anticipate having like one dude in my view. It's cool though. Not gonna sweat it too much. Change our angle a little bit maybe here. Try to come at it sort of from the river. Throttle there for what I was hoping to do. It's nice. Oh man. That's good. That's cool. That's a little late on that shot. More like that. There we go. That is pretty cool. That. It's like, alright, I don't actually need to go there now. Seen it. Not a big enough space to fit this copter through, I don't think. I don't think you could jam this through. That bottom. Not with my skill level, at least. Alright, so let's see here if I can reasonably make a descent. Oh, ATC's had a lot to say apparently. Forgot for me, that's the one I want.
Taus's Tower Pits Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is 10 miles northeast 500 feet with Sierra to land.
Pits Alpha Sierra, X-Ray Golf Sierra, Twisted Tower.
See what 25R looks like for us. Perfect. Nice right side. We'll be coming right at it. Sounds good.
Tows's tower didn't copy. Please say again for pits.
I'll just
X-ray
make him
Golf
say it
Sierra.
again for fun.
Pits Alpha Sierra, X-ray Golf Sierra, Census Tower.
Alright. Let's keep this going. Suddenly ATC's in the habit of like giving me the runway that actually seems to make sense. I'm into it. Alright, I'm still a bit a ways, I feel like. I haven't really figured out how to pick up a lot of speed with this thing. Let's see what we can do. What we can do to ultimately crash this thing into the airport, as it seems like the most likely outcome. Oh, see, now it wants me to acknowledge it. Of course. Of course it does.
Make straight.
Yeah, we got you.
5 right pits. X-ray Golf Sierra.
It's fine. Just to see if we can kind of barrel towards it. Sort of beeline towards the glide slope here. I think that's what this thing on little nav map is showing me. Probably completely irrelevant with this thing, and there's really no reason for me not to just be barreling towards the landing strip with this guy. But now I've been trained to think about approaches and whatever. Go figure. So making kind of a turn here. Not sure what landing this thing is really going to be like. The only thing I've seen so far is that huge crash landing that I had. Pretty nice morning here in Paris, I would concede. That's pretty slick. I just pick up absolutely no speed with this thing. I'm not sure what I'm doing or what I'm doing wrong. But that doesn't make it uncharming. Just not super expedient. Pretty nice here, though. Another relatively flat piece of turf for me to drive or fly over. I mean, our Indiana VFR run earlier was awfully flat, which, you know, is not indicative of all of Indiana, but it was certainly the defining characteristic of the chunk I was on today, which made it easier for me to find where I was going, ultimately, I think. I gotta rudder this thing in the right direction. I'm like fighting against my rudder right now. Alright, that's nice. Seem to be entering the general vicinity of where I'm wanting to go. Looks like I'm about to enter what I guess I assume is the glide slope. I'm not smart enough about flying and stuff to know what that's really trying to tell me. Like, if you see what I'm talking about this whole situation here. So we're going to get ourselves into that and make our approach that way, but not entirely sure that's what I'm supposed to do. Still trying to figure out how to pick up speed with this bad boy. I do so much pitching down with this. I think we're making nice progress here. Exactly tell where the airstrip itself is up there yet. Seems like we're generally heading where we want to go, though. Everything kind of needing to catch up with itself again. That's alright. Still getting this photogrammetry all the way out here. We've been rolling for a while, and those buildings look pretty well realized
Sierra, did you copy?
to me. They definitely look more fleshed out and potentially real than the buildings in my town.
X-ray Golf Sierra, please acknowledge.
That is not me. So we cannot be too far from where we're going here. I'm kind of in the...
X-ray.
Didn't mean to be this close. Back that out a little bit. But... I feel like we are sort of coasting into the finish. I'd like to have some better visibility.
Services terminated.
I don't know who that is, but it is not me. I'm in the Cessna 208 right here. Or no, actually, I'm in the Velocity, sorry. I'm pretty much always in the 208, though. This is unusual, to say the least. Yeah, we seem to be getting closer to where I would expect these airstrips to be. Looking at about 500 feet, 519 on our on the airport elevation right there. So making some pretty steady progress here towards what's going to be our destination airport. Lima Foxtrot, Papa November. Here on the southwest side of France, having basically done a flyover from Charles de Gaulle. With one completely unexpected crash. But other than that, it's been pretty under control, I would say. I feel like maybe I'm getting a little too much elevation now. I don't really know. I don't know if I should just be able to just like drop this thing onto the runway. Is there like a helipad I'm supposed to use? I didn't even really look at that possibility. Consider like, am I really supposed to just, what am I supposed to do with a helicopter coming into this place? I'm guessing in reality it's not use the runway, but basically what they told me to do, so alright. I do what I'm told. Alright, we're coming in on it here now. Now, do you actually see again? Oh, there we go. That's where we're headed. Very nice. Alright. And we are coming in on 25R, so that's going to be the one on the right. Still a little ways to go, it looks like. Southwest side of Paris is where we are presently. Bringing the velocity in for a landing here. Can't get her to go real fast, I must say. We'll see what we can do with just kind of pitching her right on down, but I need to lose some elevation anyway. But it seems like it's just only so fast I can make the thing go. Which hopefully means I will have a relatively smooth time landing this thing. Who knows? Not really sure what to expect on that. Or at what point I really should kind of stop throttling it or at least pull back on it, but for the moment I would love it if it would pick up a little speed. Making a smooth approach so far. Gotta make sure we don't lose too much elevation here. I am notorious for coming up short on runways. Looks like it's gonna be about my bedtime after we get this thing on the ground. We are close-ish. Kind of riding it not too far above the ground right now. Make sure we're actually coming in on the right side, which is what we're supposed to be doing. Magnet Boy and Manny back there. Kind of been with us for a while, I feel like. Alright, here we go. Let's make the push and get there. The kids have soccer in the morning. Finish strong on this. Okay now. Settle down. I don't really know what the goal is here, right? Like, just want to touch it down, but like we're at the beginning of the runway. Is that the idea? Just not entirely sure what they want me to do with this thing. I didn't see like an obvious like helipad. Oh no, see, that's what happened before. It like suddenly froze up and then I was careening towards the ground. I seemed to have saved it here, but don't be losing that much velocity just yet. That much altitude. Gotta get you over this last set of trees here. Again, I don't know if it wants me to just like drop it on the beginning of the runway or what. As we come in here to our final destination, Lima Foxtrot, Papa November. No idea. It's like just bring it in on 25 right. Okay, but then what? No idea. No clue, and I have no idea what it's going to do hitting the ground either. Let's be honest here. Let's actually take her inside for a second here. I have absolutely no idea. No. Yeah, we're just gonna bring it down right here. Close. See how hard it is to move it now. I mean, I might as well just move it, right? Doesn't seem to really matter. We'll at least bring her over to the actual runway. Courtesy reposition. We'll just bring it right in there. Yeah, there you go. Ah, that's how it's meant to be. Yep. See, does breaking it actually break it? Yeah, it sure does. Put a park and brake on this thing. And it's underneath these covers. And turn these things off. So we're just apparently going to park this thing right on the runway for the night. I don't know how to actually turn anything else off. Does it have like a battery anywhere? Kind of thing that will make me feel like I turned it off properly. So, yeah, I figured there was going to be like a battery. These things don't actually do anything. Well, that's not going to be very satisfying if I can't like feel like I've turned the thing off. Hold on, let me. I mean, all the props are off. There's no battery, though, huh? Sort of feels like there just has to be some sort of... But this just shows my complete ineptness and lack of understanding of these vehicles. I guess not. Let's sort of unset... Oh, there's stuff up here. Oh, battery... Like, are these all actual things that are on right now? These two. Oh, that's a lot of battery-ish things. I'd like turn all these off at once. Basically, this is me just trying to like do the things where it suddenly shows you sort of your travel log. It makes you feel like you've actually like finished your flight. But who knows? Oh, did it. Nailed it. Some combination of all of that stuff. Well, right on. I think I am gonna wrap things up for the night. I guess I've never actually done this before, but I guess if I was really trying to do the thing the way people do this, I would try to find somebody to raid, right? And I honestly don't have a compelling reason not to try to do that. So, let's see what's going on. It's sort of funny because I honestly don't have a compelling reason not to try to do that. Don't want to do that. Turned on my own stream. So anyway, thank you for joining me, those of you who have come along so far. It has actually been very fun and a great time, and let's see, I don't know enough to know even how that kind of thing is supposed to work. I think I figured out where I can do it, but have I figured out how? Let's do
do something random. We're gonna raid Mr. Shadlow. Let's try that. And here we go. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Why, thank you. Now there's more people to watch me fail.